What is up, everybody out there in HeroClix land? This once again is Scott Porter back for a brand new Marvel HeroClix unboxing series, this time for the brand new supersize set. And I say supersize not in number, but in scope, Wheels of Vengeance. Yes, you can see on the front here, we're dealing with old Flamehead, the Ghost Rider himself. And the boxes are shaped a little bit differently in this particular booster set, and I want to see why that is when we start cracking this thing open. This brand new set is tracking to have its pre-release sometime around Halloween, which, if I'm being honest, tracks. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to the nth circles of hell with Ghost Rider on his flaming motorcycles and get some vengeance around Halloween time. And then the official set releasing sometime in November, early November, probably a couple weeks past the pre-release. I am incredibly excited to start opening this and see, like I said, first of all, why the boxes are different size. But let's take a look at the outside of the brick like we always do. The first thing I'm seeing here on the top is right down here in the corner of the tops of the boxes. You can see the old Knucklehead. You can see Wolverine there. So Logan, Ghost Rider, the Hulk, all these guys, they've worked together plenty. Doctor Strange. I mean, Ghost Rider has been a member of the Fantastic Four. So at some point, Ghost Rider's crossed paths with many, many different people. And there are so many Ghost Riders that you can't even really count them. We thought there was only one back in the day, when Johnny Blaze first took up the mantle of Ghost Rider, but we found out there's many, many riders out there. So we've got Robbie Reyes, we've got Danny Ketch, we've got Alejandro, we've got, what is his name? Kenishiro from Ghost Rider 2099. I mean, there have been so many. As well as, the Spirit Rider from the Dawn of Time. So we know there's a ton of Ghost Riders. We're going to get them. But I guess we're going to get other corners of the Marvel Universe too. So Wolverine's on the front. Of course, the front image is just the Flaming Skull himself, Johnny on the front. On the side, though, we have some other really interesting figures here. We've got Iron Fist, which I didn't expect, and I guess maybe I should have. But we've got Zarathos, right? Different people are responsible for some of the Ghost Riders coming to life, right? And I say people very loosely. Zarathos, I don't know how you want to say his name, tied in with Johnny Blaze's lore big time. The Ghost Rider himself, we'll get into that if we pull him. But the lore of the Ghost Rider is very deep and very confusing and very dark and very bloody. So I can't say that Ghost Rider for me is like one of my old-time favorite characters. I've read an awful lot of it. I do like a lot of the lore. Sometimes when it's too gory, when it's just too much hell. Sometimes I back away a little bit. But I am a fan. He's not one of my all-time favorites, but I am a big-time fan. And I know everybody out there, I know there's so many huge Ghost Rider fans. And I'm so happy that he's getting his own set to kind of star in here. On the other side, we've got another Ghost Rider there on the bottom, but this is Sleipnir, I think. This is Odin's horse. So maybe we're not just getting, characters that work in the realm and the lore of Ghost Rider itself. Maybe we're getting, characters who ride motorcycles or ride horses or ride any number of things, So who knows what we could be getting in this set. I think it's so cool that Sleipnir is on the side, though. That's Odin's horse, if you're not aware. Thor's daddy's horse. All right. On the back, we have, I believe this is the Spirit Rider. And she's been around for a while, but has had a resurgence in the comic books. Kushala, I think is her name. And it's kind of telling me, I don't know. The back of the box is usually the chases. Kushala, I don't know what kind of theme she fits into. Maybe it's just like different really cool versions of Ghost Riders. Not completely sure. But we'll see as we start to crack everything open. Like I said, the set is set to release for the pre-release tournament, sometimes around Halloween, and then the set actual is dropping in November. So without further ado, I say we get into this thing and see what can be inside. I can't tell you that there's any specific Ghost Rider story you should read for this. The thing with Ghost Riders is they've had Ghost Rider, whether it's been Johnny or Danny, Robbie, they've had their own series that run for a good amount of time, but then there's all of these miniseries that are written all the time, whether it's Daniel Way or any number of authors who have stepped in to put their own spin on Ghost Rider. Spin, get it? Wheels, event, never mind. Dad jokes are going to be here, and I apologize to everyone for that. But anyway, let's get cracking. I don't know exactly what we're going to be seeing. Been some really cool storylines the past few years that dealt with Johnny Blaze. Danny Ketch was gone for a long time. He's come back. He's got his own series now. So I think we're going to get a good number of Ghost Riders, and hopefully the cards will tell us what series we should go read, because I really don't have any specific ones for you guys to go take a look at. All right, without further ado, first two boosters. Oh man, this is really tightly fit in here. Okay, let's see. All right. Sorry, there we go. Okay, first two boosters. We're going to open them today. If you guys don't know, I like to open on the right-hand side. Everyone that's watching this has probably been here for an unboxing. If you haven't, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. HeroClix is a really cool tabletop game. It's like I always like to say, superhero chess. Instead of moving in the shape of an L, your figures can do all types of superhero, supervillainy type crazy stuff. And yeah. This set is going to be no different. Here, when I fold up the flap, yep, nothing there, nothing hiding. All right. If you're a longtime fan of HeroClix, well, you've been around long enough to know that we've had some crazy kinds of figures, giants, colossals, peanut bases, all that stuff. And it looks like, whoo, yes, we are going to be getting, I don't know, maybe a vehicle in each pack. The first character that we get is Frenchie, the longtime confidant of Moon Knight, which is fitting because we also have, in this particular booster, Moon Knight on his horse. Moon Knight famously once said, multiple personalities, one horse. And I don't know that horse's name, darn it. We also have, in this booster, Night Nurse, and we have Man-Wolf. Okay, giving me a little bit of an idea of what we might be getting in this particular set. I'm going to pull these back. Okay, fringes stuff, mystical stuff, horror stuff, monster stuff. You know, Man-Wolf is a really cool inclusion here. I don't know why I didn't see something like that coming. Knowing that one of the play-at-home kits is going to be Werewolf at Night. So yeah, Man-Wolf makes a lot of sense here. Night Nurse makes a little bit of sense here. So let's take a peek at our first figure, and let's have that figure actually be Night Nurse. Now, there have been a few Night Nurses, I think 4 over time. Linda was the first, and then this happens to be Claire Temple. Claire has Defenders, Heroes for Hire, Marvel Knights, Scientist keywords, set number 10, Painkiller, Damage, Special Power, Support. Adjacent friendly characters that share a keyword with Night Nurse can reduce penetrating damage. Okay, that's awesome. Look at the back at her card here. And you see she's got a couple of powers, the dial, of course, being on the front. And you can see Captain America Sam Wilson is the significant appearance there. However, a lot of people would know Claire Temple actually from her time of working with Luke Cage for a long time. Her relationship with Luke Cage, which makes it make a whole lot of sense that she lets you ignore any type of penetrating damage because, well, Luke Cage does the same dang thing, and that's pretty cool. So Night Nurse, I didn't necessarily expect, but that is our first figure. Let's move on, actually, to Man-Wolf. That's right. The son of J. Jonah Jameson himself. This is John Jonah Jameson, world-renowned astronaut, went into space, encountered some waves or radiation, ended up with some spores that turned him into a wolf, werewolf, and then he's got a very thick history that involves rubies and involves different things like becoming a star god. So who knows actually what we will encounter here. But let's take a look. He's set number 16. Spider-Man, family, animal, cosmic, monster, and police makes sense. Astronaut. He's got the cosmic, monster, of course, werewolf. Moon, harvest or blood is a trait. At the beginning of your turn, roll a d6 for all friendly characters with a moon trait. Okay, we're going to be seeing a shared trait here of this. Man-wolf can use the resulting effect until your next turn. On a roll of 1 to 4, shape change. On a roll of 5 or 6, modify attack by +1 and gain flurry. That's cool. So we're going to have a shared trait. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot more werewolf, lycanthrope kind of people in this that are dealing with some moon stuff. We've already got Moon Knight. Now we've got Man-Wolf deal with the moon. Anyway, let's look at the back of the card here. We've got another trait of wolf and man, plasticity, stealth, free. Place Man-Wolf in a square of hindering terrain within 4 squares and line of fire, which is a trait that we've seen a lot. We've seen this special power quite a few times. John Jonah Jameson is a very cool character who's been tied to a lot of different very popular characters, but hasn't always had the same, She-Hulk relationship. Best friends with Spider-Man, but he's never risen to like the level of fame that I think maybe he actually kind of deserves. He's a really cool character, but they tried to kind of rebrand him a number of times. The first time he got his powers, he was in space. He came back down, he got transformed, he got cured. Then he went back to the moon, then he found a ruby. And then this ruby got into his chest or something like that. Spider-Man pulled it off, healed him. And then Morbius showed up, and Morbius is like, no, I need you to wear this ruby again. I need a werewolf lackey to do my bidding, because Morbius was trying to figure out how to cure his own illness that he created himself, Morbius, what a jerk. And then Man-Wolf became Man-Wolf again. And then eventually, the ruby was gone. Then he found something like the Star God Stone or something like this that gave him like these big cosmic powers. And he's been going back and forth with that for a while. He lived in Otherworld for quite some time. And when he was in Otherworld, he could be John Jonah Jameson. But when he was on Earth, he had to be the werewolf, and he'd lose control of himself. Now, thankfully, he is more in control of his multiple forms. He could be the wolf, but keep his intelligence. I think a lot of people might have seen him last in a Carnage storyline. He's kind of on the payroll, both in Wakanda as well as with S.H.I.E.L.D., like trying to keep these kind of monsters at bay. He's kind of like a monster police guy kind of now. I really like Man-Wolf. It's really cool to see him in this set. Very convoluted backstory, but that's what happens when you have this many years of history to contend with. But I do love the character. I'm glad to see him in here. I wonder if we're going to get a different version of him in the set at all, because there have been so many different versions of him. Talking big cosmic powers, talking the Otherworld, talking the Raging Beast, talking all these different things. So anyway, moving on, we're going to go to Frenchie next. Frenchie, if you read Moon Knight at all, which there have been some really cool kind of like 6 to 12 issue runs of Moon Knight lately that are cool little stories. If you're familiar with Moon Knight because of the TV show, then Frenchie you would recognize as well. Detective, pilot, soldier, and vehicle. He's got a trait, ride like the wind. At the beginning of the game, you may choose a friendly character with the vehicle keyword that hasn't been chosen by another. Okay. Frenchie, by another Frenchie. If you do, turn Frenchie to any click and place him on the chosen character's card. This game, that character can use the powers displayed on Frenchie's dial, and when the chosen character is KO'd, place Frenchie into the square that character last occupied on click number 1. So you see his 3 clicks there. He's got stealth, he's got energy explosion, he's got poison, he's got close combat expert, not poison, he's got, perplex. So he's got some support powers, he's got sidestep, he's got some movement powers. So you click him to any of these clicks, you put it on a card on your sideline for somebody that has the vehicle keyword. Okay, and he's got vehicle himself. Now, HeroClix fans are used to vehicle coming with a different set of combat abilities, RAM, all of these other things. It seems like vehicle is going to play much differently in this particular set. He's got the normal damage symbol. Yeah, very cool. I didn't expect this to happen. And then you get to pop him out. So I think he was like a member of the French Foreign Legion or their military somehow. He became disenfranchised with it. He went on to a life of being a mercenary, and him and Moon Knight encountered each other, I think, in Northern Africa a long time ago, and became kind of best buddies. And then he flew the Moon Knight copter. Oh my gosh! Wait a minute. Are we gonna get like the Moon Knight helicopter in this set? Because if we're getting vehicles, are we getting vehicles proper? I'm kind of like, my head is just spinning now. I'm not sure exactly what we're getting. Let's take a look at Moon Knight, though. Oh, man. Look at that sculpt, y'all. What is his horse's name? Please, if you know, hit me up in the comments below, because it is escaping my mind right now. Moon Knight, set number 35. Avengers, Defenders, Hero for Hire, Marvel Knights, Detective, Mystical, Vehicle, and Warrior keywords. Already in the running for most keywords in the set in our first booster. He's got Pilot. It's a trait. Moon Knight, Marvel Knights. When revealing your force, you may choose a single base character on your sideline that is named Moon Knight or has the Marvel Knights keyword. Wow. And turn it to any click. Moon Knight can use the standard attack and damage powers displayed on that character's dial. When Moon Knight is KO'd, before removing him from the game, from the map, generate the chosen character from your sideline on its last non-KO click. This game, that character can't be healed or replaced and isn't scored when KO'd. Protected Pulse Wave. Okay. Yeah. So, unlike Frenchie, when you put a single base character onto Moon Knight's card, you can only pick from the attack and damage powers displayed. And that character could be a Moon Knight or anyone with the Marvel Knights keyword. That's crazy. That's awesome. So you're gaining a bunch of powers just for a character sitting on the sidelines. So this pilot trait, this is kind of new to me. Moon Knight, Marvel Knights. That's awesome. I'm guessing we're going to see a lot of these vehicle keyword interplay and a lot of this kind of pilot trait interplay. Very cool. Interacting with the sideline. That's really neat. You see, got some running shot there, got some charge, got some flurry. We'll take a look at the back here. You got Moon, powered by Khonshu. Now, interesting fact, back in the day, the moon god in Egyptian lore is actually Khonsu, but this is Khonshu. I don't know why Marvel did that, but sure, this is what we're doing. So sometimes I may still call this moon god Khonsu, just because I liked Egyptian lore and back in the day. So sorry if I get it wrong. At the beginning of your turn, roll a d6 for all friendly characters with a moon trait. Moon Knight can use the resulting effect until your next turn. On a roll of 1 to 2 in power, on a roll of 3 to 4 enhancement, on a roll of 5 or 6 probability control. Multiple personalities, 1 horse. Oh, I love that. Perplex and shape change. Yes, look at that. I love it. Team player is the team ability. Moon Knight 3 from 2014 is that appearance. Like I said, some really cool limited runs that have happened over the past couple of years. I highly suggest you going and picking those up. Okay, that does it for booster number 1. I am kind of blown away already. That sculpt for Moon Knight is really, really cool. But these traits are definitely going to throw me a little bit. On Moon Knight, it says, at the beginning of your turn, roll a d6 for all friendly characters with a moon trait. Well, Man-Wolf has a moon trait, but his moon trait says Harvest or Blood. So does that trigger for... Oh, wait. How does this all work together? At the beginning of your turn, roll a d6 for all friendly characters with a moon trait. Moon Knight can use the resulting effect until your next turn. Yeah. Okay, so you only roll the die once. At the beginning of your turn, roll a d6 for all friendly characters, and then what they get coming out of that. So if you roll the 5, Man-Wolf will be able to modify attack by +1 and flurry, and Moon Knight will get probability control. Okay, so they have moon traits, and then they have their names next to them. We're going down the trait rabbit hole on this set, I can already tell. Okay, second booster, and We'll see what we get here. All right. Okay. Woo! We got a super rare, guys. We got a super rare. And it's not surprising, you know. Open on the same side. Have faith in the boosters. Have faith where those super rares are going to be. But before we show you what super rare we got a zombie. Okay. Nice little generic. We got a night nurse who we've already seen. Oh, all right. We got Mordred the Mystical here. The old Merlin assistant who's done a lot over the years. Sometimes hero, sometimes villain, flat out awful villain. Very, very cool. And then we've got our first super rare who's got a bright orange base Ghost Rider. And this looks to me to be Johnny Blaze. So pretty cool second pack here. Let's pull this back. We've already seen Night Nurse. I'm going to set her off to the side. Wow, we've got all good guys except for Mordred here, so I'll definitely have to get Mordred off to the side. I really love the idea of the zombie generic. I like that a lot. Getting any classic monster generics into a HeroClix set, I mean, hey, brush off some old HorrorClix and get them out here as well. Why not, huh? They did a good job theming this a little bit too, you know, coming out around Halloween. So let's take a look at the zombie here. Zombie, monster, mystical. Set number 6, Cemetery Gates. When zombie is KO'd after resolutions, generate a grave hindering terrain marker in the square they last occupied. Protected, pulse wave. Characters with multiple green starting lines may begin the game on any one of them, and you see the zombie has 3 different starting lines. One has some sidestep, one has some charge, one has some poison and invulnerability. Very cool. Take a look at the back of the card here. Marvel Mystery Comics number 29, back in 1941 is going to be your appearance. Very cool. Got the Underworld team ability here. I think we can put the zombie over into the villain side here. Let's take a look at Mordred the Mystical next. Mordred the Mystical has Battle World, Weird World, yes, mystical, past as keywords. Set number 15, a trait, the wizard, opposing characters' combat values except range, can't be modified when attacking Mordred the Mystic or being attacked by Mordred the Mystic. Oh yeah, you wanted to perplex your defense up? Too bad for you, buddy. Bound to Chthon. Free. Deal Mordred the Mystic 1 unavoidable damage. Modify his attack and damage by +1 this turn. There we go. Look at the back here. Got Mystic's team ability, and you see, of course, all of the different powers that Mordred has. Now, way back in the day, like I said, Mordred was linked to Merlin, the wizard in ages ago, in Arthurian legend. And through the years, Mordred sometimes is a hero, sometimes helps the good guys, but he's also tied very much to the Darkhold and to Chthon, to Mount Wondergore, and all of the awful happenings that go on there. And some of the Ghost Riders are also tied a little bit to the Darkhold, chasing it, trying to find it. And Mordred comes in and out of those kind of storylines too. Again, I love the fact that this is a very fringe set. The magics, the characters who are dealing with hell, who are the monsters on the edges of society as far as Marvel goes. It's a realm that Ghost Rider completely does. He rules in as far as popularity, but there's a lot of really cool, interesting characters that are tied to that, and that have come in and out of other character storylines for years, other team storylines, whether Mordred's been a villain for years and years and years for different teams, but he's also been a hero. He comes in and out. And a lot of times, if you're just a mainstream Avengers reader, you'd see Mordred the Mystical and be, who's this guy? Who is? It's worth going down the rabbit hole and figuring out who all these characters are. I'm glad to see they're getting a little bit of their day in the sun here. Let's look at this Ghost Rider, however. This set, I believe, has glowing elements. I think on the outside, when we looked at Zarathos and we looked at Iron Fist, it said introducing Hero Glow. And I think this might be a figure that probably has some of that. So I don't know if you turn the lights out, this guy's glowing in the dark, but there you go. Ghost Rider, look at that sculpt. It is so awesome. The flaming wheels. He's got the chain whipping behind him there. And yes, this is Johnny Blaze. He has Defenders, Heroes for Hire, Midnight Suns, Thunderbolts, Mystical, Ruler, Vehicle. He's set number 48, our first super rare. He has a trait Pilot, Ghost Rider, Midnight Suns. Okay, just like Moon Knight had Pilot, Moon Knight, Marvel Knights, Ghost Rider adds in Midnight Suns. When revealing your force, you may choose a single base character on your sideline that is named Ghost Rider or has the Midnight Suns keyword and turn it to any click. Ghost Rider can use the standard attack and damage powers displayed on that character's dial. When Ghost Rider is KO'd, before removing him from the map, generate the chosen character from your sideline on its last non-KO click. This game, that character can't be healed or replaced and isn't scored when KO'd. Protected Pulse Wave. So just exactly as Moon Knight's works, just with different names that are allowed to be that pilot, that are allowed to sit on the card. On the back, King of the Underworld, Ghost Rider, and adjacent friendly characters can use their powers regardless of opposing effects. Protected Pulse Wave. Stuntman of Justice, Regeneration, Willpower. When Ghost Rider makes an attack, before rolling, you may choose that this roll can't be re-rolled or have its dice replaced. If you do, Ghost Rider deals penetrating damage, and after resolutions, deal him one unavoidable damage if he missed all targets. All right. So you're gambling a little bit. You want to make sure you choose this option when you are almost sure you're going to hit, right? You don't want to take that click of unavoidable damage on the back end of it. But it's pretty cool that you can deal some penetrating damage or go back to the front of his card. You know, it's a trait, so you can do it all the way down the dial. 4 damage up front, but then 3 the rest of the way. So when you need that little bit of oomph, you know, you can gamble with it. That's a pretty cool power. And it says that the significant appearance is actually Ghost Rider Damnation, which was actually kind of a Sorcerer Supreme kind of Doctor Strange storyline that Johnny Blaze was a part of. Johnny Blaze ended up going toe-to-toe with, it's kind of a throwback to like a Defenders kind of feel, you know? But he goes toe-to-toe with Mephisto. There's this really cool scene where he drives up the side of a skyscraper. I think they're in Las Vegas, like a skyscraper. He's just tearing up the side of this building, goes one-on-one with Mephisto, and Mephisto just throws him down into hell and separates the rider from Johnny Blaze. And they kind of, you know, are in hell together, having to kind of figure their way out. They're separated, but they're still tied together because of their relationship over the years. You know, it used to be that when Ghost Rider would take over Johnny Blaze would vacate the premises. Now, it's more of a thing where they share the same headspace, and Johnny is way more in control. But in Damnation, when they get thrown down into hell, they kind of split up and they have to fight their way back onto Earth. So, pretty cool storyline, and like I said, ties into Doctor Strange, ties into, I think Danny Ketch is actually a part of Damnation as well, so ties into other Ghost Riders, ties into Mephisto. You know, there's some very big bads that the Ghost Riders deal with, so very, very cool. The cards that we got today, the little surprise cards, so you will notice there's only 4 figures per booster, but you do have, it looks like, a vehicle or some type of rider per booster as well. The 2 cards that we got, one says, cast your penance stare against some of the Ghost Rider's biggest villains. You see Lilith there, you see Blackheart there. I'll let you guys read the text a little bit. On the back of that, actually, though, we have Ghost Riders, right? You can see Robbie, you can see Danny, and that does look like Ghost Rider 2099 to me at the end there. So yes, we'll be getting some Ghost Rider 2099, who of course looks way different now than he used to look. They're both Kenshiro, but Ghost Rider 2099 had its own book a long time ago, and Kenshiro, this one actually showed up in more of the current runs that Robbie's involved in Avengers and, when they were fighting the Universal Masters of Evil and all of that stuff. So the other one actually has, oh my gosh, guys, they did it. They put a legacy card checklist into the booster, and I'm not going to show you because I want to keep that a secret. And then, but they did show us another little spoiler, Namor. Look at this. Okay, we got guys writing things I never expected. We've got Namor riding a shark. This is awesome. Perched upon an imposing toothy mount, the ruler of Atlantis defends his home come hell or high water. A Marvel staple since the 1930s, Namor relishes his role as the Lord of the Deep, flood the battlefield with water terrain, and chomp your opponents in some jawsome combat. Look at that. Jawsome. I told you, dad jokes are here all day long. What is not a joke is that we have a really, really cool extra addition to today's unboxing, and that is going to be the return of starter sets. Normally on day one, I do the Dice and Tokens pack. On this particular day one, we're going to break into a brand new Marvel HeroClix starter set. This, you can tell, coming to you in 2024, which is pretty cool. Actually, not in 2024. It's kind of like a car. It says 2024 on it, but it's going to be releasing in 2023. Coming your way sometime in October or November, date to be determined. I'm shooting this at the beginning of September, so by the time you are watching this, maybe the actual release date has been released. But let's take a look at all of this real quick. This is really, really cool. On the side, you can see here we've got Spider-Man, we've got Iron Man, we've got Black Panther, we've got Captain Marvel. You got a couple of QR codes on the side. Learn to play and join the community to help new players kind of figure out where they can go play. This is great. Now, the miniatures games were coming out for a while. It seems like those have kind of gone away. But this is a really great tool for all of us. Like we always say, how do we get new players invested into HeroClix while still offering, hopefully, something for existing players? On the back of it, it says, the starter set 2024, suit up and take the first step on your heroic adventure with the Marvel HeroClix starter set 2024. And it features a ton of stuff. 4 detailed, ready-to-play figures. It comes with 8 character cards. Okay, that's awesome. 1 sheet of terrain tokens, 1 complete token sheet, 8 thick map tiles. Cool. 2 custom 6-sided dice, 2 powers and abilities cards, so you can play with a friend. You have an extra powers and ability card for a friend, and 1 full-color HeroClix core rule book. And let's go ahead and take a peek then at the figures and the stuff we have inside here, just so I can show you guys. Again, I play at a lot of events now. I have my own event in May. I see a lot of veteran players, but when we hold our event in May and we're doing this really cool, huge tournament, we will have people come into the gaming store, Lucky Dice Cafe down in Huntsville, Alabama, where we've held the event the last couple of years, and we'll have new players just kind of poking their head in because it's a game shop, and they'll say, hey, what is this game? I've never seen this game. How do I play this game? And I want to be able to point them in the right direction on the best way for them to learn the ins and outs of this, from the basics in the beginning to the more complicated stuff as you go. So this is actually really cool. In the miniatures game, we had map tiles, but the map tiles were much bigger than this and really hard to store, actually. HeroClix players out there, if you feel me, let me know. But this instead, they're like little puzzle pieces, and you just click them together. Very, very cool. One side is just park outdoor, and I'm not going to put the whole thing together. I'm sure there's an image of the map out there somewhere for you all to look at. But you can see it has, numbers and letters down on the sides, P6, P5, where to line them up, how to put them together. The other side is something we haven't seen in quite a while. It's like a sketch map zone. Really cool to learn how to play. You can put terrain markers down. You can kind of explore the space, just how characters move, without any of the art, maybe to distract newer players. But eventually, you could also just draw your own map on here, right? Like, you could sketch your own stuff on here. There's a map that's never been created that you love, that you want to see in HeroClix form. You could do that. So the entire other side, while still numbered and still shows you how to put everything together like a puzzle, like I said, still really, really cool. So the park outdoor is one side of the map. The other side is completely blank. We have figures. They have some civilian tokens, some Hydra agents. So I have hope that maybe there's a little bit of a theme in here of how you play. You've got action tokens. You've got smoke, barrier, debris. You've got all the tokens that you need to play up in here. And these, yeah, the civilians, they've got stats. The Hydra agent has stats, you know. Little 6 movement flying. It's like a Hydra parachuter. Flight with 6 movement, plasticity, 11 attack and poison, 18 defense. That's your Hydra agent token. All right, pretty cool. Let's break the sculpts out here. Of course, we'll get a better look at them, but I'll just put these guys up here now so you can get a look at the team that comes in the starter set here. These sculpts are awesome. I mean, when they say highly detailed, they mean it in this particular set. Oh, I love this Spider-Man. Oh, I can't wait to get an up-close look at that Spider-Man, actually. Looks like he's kind of... Oh, oops. Looks like he's kind of taking a selfie at the top of the Empire State Building. That is really cool. So that's a wide look at the figures. We'll get into their cards here in just a second. And then the last set of stuff that we have in the starter... And you know, if we've got a Marvel one coming, maybe we've got another one coming too. Hope for other fans of other comic books, you know. But the dice are really cool as well. 6-sided die, they got little Spider-Man insignias on them. 2 powers and abilities cards, like we said. And the entire core rule book. But I know what we're all here for is to really take a look at the figures. So that's everything that we got in there. Let's take a look at the figures and their dials. And let's start with Captain Marvel first, just because she's the closest one to me. There we go. Look at that sculpt. You know, she absorbs all the energy. She blows it back out, you know, rays out of her hands. And that is a massive ball of energy that she's looking to just drop on someone right there. I love how kinetic it feels. I love the action of the sculpt. Looks great. Captain Marvel is going to have an A card and a B card. So just like the miniatures game, you have a very simple version and a more complex version. So for A, basic card. If Captain Marvel is 50 points, use this character card. Photonic Blasts, Energy Explosion. When Captain Marvel uses it, the damage dealt is penetrating. The damage can't be reduced. A little bit of extra explaining there of what the power does. You look at the back of the card, see the Avengers team ability, full description of what the team ability does, and you see the significant appearance there. You look at Captain Marvel for B, you've got Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Kree, and Soldier keywords, just like the other one. Advanced card, if Captain Marvel is 75 points, use this character card. Kree Healing is an extra trait you get. When Captain Marvel clears action tokens, heal her 1 click for each token removed. Flip the card over. Enough power to melt a star. Energy Explosion. When Captain Marvel uses it, she instead deals 3 damage, and the damage dealt can't be reduced below 2. Okay, that is Captain Marvel for you. Like I said, the sculpt just looks incredible. We're going to go with Iron Man next. All right. And like I said, these sculpts are crazy. You'll see this Iron Man here. The smoke billowing out of the jet boosters on his boots there. Really cool. Iron Man's 1A card is Avengers, Stark Industries, Armor, and Scientist keywords basic card. If Iron Man is 50 points, use this character card. He's got a special damage power. Friday, run the numbers. Perplex, ranged combat expert. Look at the back of the card. Once again, Avengers team ability fully explained for anybody who is new to the game. And then we'll look at 1B for the advanced card. Repulsor Thrust is an added trait. Free, move 1 square. Okay, kind of like a mini sidestep on top of the sidestep that the figure already has. Special damage power on this one is Genius, Billionaire, Playboy, Philanthropist. Perplex, Ranged Combat Expert. When Iron Man uses Perplex to target a friendly character, that character can use energy shield deflection until your next turn. Pretty solid dial. Damages they're not too out of hand on this Iron Man, whereas Captain Marvel had some 4s, a bunch of 3s. Iron Man's damage is a little bit more reined in, but is definitely supporting other pieces on your force. Next up, let's go with Black Panther. Okay. Got the vibranium blades flying out there. That is a really, really cool sculpt as well. I love all these pieces in the starter set. You've got Avengers, Wakanda, Ruler, and Warrior. Card number 2A. Basic card, just like the other ones. If the Black Panther is played at 50 points, use this character card. Chosen of Bast. Leadership and Outwit is the special damage power. Take a peek at the back of the card. Just like the other ones, has the Avengers team ability, has your significant appearance. But let's look at 2B. This is the advanced card for Black Panther. Avengers, Wakanda, Ruler, and Warrior keywords, just like the other card. Stored kinetic energy is going to be an additional trait, toughness. Pulse wave as free, woo, but only if Black Panther has been damaged since your last turn. Okay, that's the Black Panther armor, the vibranium armor. That's it, taking in the energy and having to expel it once again, which is a big part of modern day Black Panther. That vibranium suit, what it does for Black Panther, very, very cool. On the back, you have the special damage power, King of Wakanda. Leadership, Outwit. When Black Panther uses Outwit, the target character modifies their defense by -1 until your next turn. Very, very cool. I love that Black Panther. That is so, so cool. Okay, last but not least, Spider-Man. And I said I love this Spider-Man sculpt. I was not expecting him to be taking a selfie at the top of the Empire State Building. The fact that you get all of that out of this sculpt really just tickles me. That's awesome. I love this sculpt, and I just love everything about it. Spider-Man is 3A and 3B. 3A says Avengers, Spider-Man, Family, Reporter, and Scientist keywords. Comes in at 50 points. The basic card trait, and has a special attack power, web shooters, that he has at the front and the back of his dial, Incapacitate. When Spider-Man uses it, if the attack roll is doubles, instead give each hit character 2 action tokens. Back of the card's got the Spider-Man team ability. And then the next card, 3B. This is the advanced card, coming in at 75 points. Has a trait, Swinging Through the City, Leap Climb. When an opposing character misses Spider-Man after resolutions, place Spider-Man in a square adjacent to his current square. Successful Super Senses rolls count as a miss. Awesome. So he's just bouncing all over the map. He's got some hypersonic speed there, which I did not note on 3A. So he's definitely got a high ability to move around the board. And don't mind me just doing spider stuff is his special attack power, Incapacitate, Precision Strike. When Spider-Man uses Incapacitate, he deals each hit character 1 damage in addition to giving them action token. Very, very cool. I like that you can deal extra damage instead of webbing the target down, because sometimes you need to have that extra click, and this is the way you get it. Real quick, I'm going to put the dice on the spinner just so you can see what we got here. Boom. These are the dice that come along with the starter set. So that is going to do it for today's unboxing series. Usually on day 1, I do the Dice and Tokens pack. But because we have this new starter set coming for Marvel, I wanted to get it out to you guys now. It's on the way, release date sometime in November. Hopefully the official date will be nailed down, but at the time of this unboxing, there's not an official day and date release. That being said, it's so cool that it's coming. It's so cool that we have yet another element to teach new players how to get involved with this game and get involved with this community. Really, really cool. That does it for today's unboxing for the brand new Wheels of Vengeance unboxing series. I'm so excited. There's 4 more days of this. You guys know the drill. 2 boosters tomorrow, a little something extra. 2 boosters on Wednesday, a little something extra. We're going to have the Dice and Tokens pack this week. We're going to have 2 different play-at-home kits, And of course, we're going to have all of the legacy cards that you should be looking for on Friday's video. Before I go, I want to say thank you so much to WizKids for sending this my way and allowing me to share this with you guys super duper early. I want to say thank you to you guys for watching, for being with me through all of these unboxing series. It's been over a decade that I've been doing these, and more sets than I can even count, and I still get excited every single time I know I get to crack open a brand new set and share it with you guys, the community. I want to thank another big member of our community, and that is HyperRPG Studios, who allows me to shoot these unboxing videos on their premises every single time. Like I always say, go check them out on YouTube, go check them out on Twitch. We once upon a time had a HeroClix show on HyperRPG, and you can find it on their YouTube channel in their retired files. It was called Indomitable, and it starred yours truly and a bunch of other really funny, really amazing, really awesome voice actors and personalities and players and lovers of HeroClix. Speaking of loving HeroClix, I'm loving this set so far. Let me know in the comments below what figure you want the most out of this set. What character you want the most to be represented in this series. Let me know in the comments below, and we'll go throughout the rest of this week, hopefully finding that particular figure. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2 of our Wheels of Vengeance HeroClix unboxing. But until I do, may all your rolls be critical hits.